Hey there, YouTube land, and today I'm going to review what is probably my top pick of movie of the year for 2014, and I'm guessing this is going to be my top pick alone. It's Into the Woods, done by Disney. It's based, of course, on the famous and really fantastic Stephen Sondheim musical. Unfortunately, I have not had the pleasure to see the musical on in production, in any form, Broadway or off Broadway. Would love to have seen. I heard Bernadette Peters play the role of the witch in the Broadway production, which would be amazing to see because she is a fantastic singer. But everybody here does a great job. We get a new actress coming here, Lily Crawford, I think is her name, and she plays the part of Little Red Riding Hood. Now she does an amazing job. This is her first screen performance. She has before been on stage in the role of Annie, and that musical takes chops. A lot of people don't realize how hard musicals are to do, especially ones like that. Annie's a big one. It's kind of a proving ground when you're starting out. And this one here was fantastic. I got to say, every actor seemed to be cast extremely well. Tom Corden as the baker was just pitch perfect. I didn't think I would get Tom Corden in this role, but he really, really does. And every character runs the gamut of what you think they're going to do. There's some really great twists and turns. The movie, like the play, really does have two acts. It literally ends at a spot. We were like just 72 minutes into the film, and we're like, wow, everything is solved. Everything's resolved. All the resolution is there. Uh, but isn't this movie longer? And yeah, twist. There's a huge twist halfway through the film that is fantastic. The basic storyline here: we have a baker played by Tom Corden and his wife, who's Emily Blunt. And Emily Blunt actually was pregnant at the time this movie was made, so they do some kind of clever camera tricks to hide the fact of her pregnancy. When she was doing a dance scene, kind of like with Chris Pine, who I'll get to in a minute, was actually this started it. The scene was kind of started before she was pregnant, and he has to dip her when she's like very pregnant. So noticeable difference there. But they basically been trying to have a child. They can't. A witch played by Meryl Streep comes and talks about the fact that Tom Corden's father stole vegetables from her garden, and he stole some beans that were very important to her. And when he did that, taking the beans on the way out, she went from being like a beautiful witch, into this like haggard old witch that you expect from like fairy tales. Meanwhile, we have two other stories going on. Jack and his mom are starving. The cow is not bringing any milk, and Jack doesn't want to let go of the cow. The cow is his friend, his best friend, and his mom, played by Tracy Ullman, sends him out to sell the cow. Don't get less than £5 for it. Meanwhile, we have Little Red Riding Hood is going to see her grandmother, and she goes in to see Tom Corden and the who's plays the baker, and his wife, and they give her some stuff. The Corden is kind of like stingier, and his heart's not. He's not the heartfelt God that you will come later on in the film. Corden's character goes through the most transformations. Meanwhile, we have Cinderella, who's being bullied by her stepmother and her two stepsisters, and all she wants to do is go to this festival, this ball with everybody else. It's a 3-day festival, and the festival ends on a blue moon. So basically, we find out that all these stories are going to come together because the witch needs 4 things in order to lift the curse that she put on the baker and his family. And basically, that is, and then they can have a kid. She needs a cloak as red as blood, a cow whiter than milk. Is it white as milk? What's it? Huh?
Yes.
Cows, and a slipper as gold as, and hair as
Yellow as maize.
yes, yellow as maize, as corn. Uh, so we go, and she can't. Basically, we find out that she can't have touched it. That's going to be an important part in this story. When the butcher was young, when the baker was just a baby, he had a sister that he didn't know about because, well, the witch whooshed her off. And that is the one story that doesn't really get a resolution. Uh, it kind of does, but it kind of doesn't. But it's a journey for the first half of the story of for the baker and his wife to find all four items for Little Red Riding Hood to get saved, and for Jack to climb the beanstalk, and for Cinderella to get her happy ending. All of these things happen, and halfway through the movie, the Cinderella is married to her prince. The butcher and the baker and his wife have their kid, almost immediately actually. Then we have the story of Jack's doing good. He's got gold, and then something happens. And if you want to know what happens after that, well, see the film. Really see the film. The music in this is fantastic. It's music almost all the way through the film. Know that going in. It is a musical, and it is not just like a song here or there. There is almost music all the way through, and it is a fantastic score for this film. The visuals on this movie are incredible. The set pieces are amazing. Who did best? It's hard to say. Everybody was perfect. I was surprised at how well. I'm not used to seeing Chris Pine in like singing. I'm used to seeing him as like Kirk or Jack Ryan, but seeing him as this kind of obnoxious prince character was really different, and he does actually have a really good singing chops. Something that apparently he was really shy about when he was making the movie. He didn't want people to hear him sing at first because he felt kind of, I think, overwhelmed by all the the star power and the people around him. We had Meryl Streep in this one, for crying out loud, and everybody's amazing. My better half was bowled over by the girl that did Little Red Riding Hood. She thought she had the best voice in the entire film. I wanted to see this movie originally because I'm a fan of Anna Kendrick. If you watch my reviews, you know that I've been a fan of her since she was a kid, back when she did the movie Camp. And it's one of those times when, like, when you peg someone for stardom and they're not like there yet, and then like to become a star, and you feel like, yes, I'm part of that. Well, I had that feeling when I saw her actually do something like this. I don't think enough people have seen this movie. I know it did good on Christmas Day, but a lot of people were turned off by the fact that this was a musical. And I'm not sure what they were expecting going in, but hopefully if they stayed and watched the movie, they realized what a fantastic film this was. There's it's a journey. The characters go into the woods, and trust me, you will hear Into the Woods, the song and the music so many times in this film. For me, my favorite song, oh man, there's so many, was I don't know what the name of it is.
You're not alone.
That's your favorite?
No, that's your favorite.
That was good. Yeah, that is actually my favorite. And next to that is probably the one where the blame, where they're laying blame on each other. It's a very kind of like it's almost like one of those 40s kind of snappy, comedy kind of type of things. The script's incredible. Characters are fleshed out. They go in ways that you don't expect them to go. There's a couple really actually shocking moments that you do not see coming. And did you see it coming?
No.
And I was like, they went there? They really went there? And they did. They went there. And once you see the movie, you'll know where there is. I'm not going to spoil this one for you because really it's the experience that you really should see. If you have children, you should definitely watch this movie with them. It is like, does have some dark scenes and stuff like that, but honestly, this is the type of thing you want to show your family. This is the type of movie you can watch on your own. This is one that I'm going to be buying when it comes out, that's for sure, and the soundtrack as well, because it is just incredible. It is my top pick for 2014. When movies like, when there's big blockbuster movies like Guardians of the Galaxy and experimental, like, well-done films like Boyhood and stuff like that, mine goes for, in the most unexpected choice of all, it is Into the Woods. The amazing spectacle musical that we unfortunately do not see enough of nowadays. There's a I would love to see more films like this. I remember when we bought the Jacques Demy set from Criterion back in their sale back in June or July, I think it was. And one of the first things we did, we watched The Young Girls of Rochefort, and it was such an exhilarating experience to see such an amazing musical, see such colors and that on the screen, and it made me like kind of sad that that type of stuff isn't really done so much anymore. That we don't really that heyday, that glamour, that innocence isn't there. But seeing movies like Into the Woods come out is it's a breath of fresh air for me. It's a revelation where you can actually go out and see something that can make you feel good at the end, can play with your emotions and do it in the right way. It doesn't manipulate you, it guides you. Like the woods, it's twisted and the path's dark and you're not sure which way to go, and neither are the characters. So when you think this is where it's going to go, it takes a turn over there. And it never seems forced and it never seems out of place. It just seems like the way that it should go. And the movie ends on a note of hope, which is always great. But that being said, there are some dark things in this film. Well, I suggest that you watch it first before you show it to your kids. No, watch it with your kids. There's nothing in there that's going to be that dark. And there are, there's some characters that things happen, but nothing that you shouldn't see or you haven't seen in a Disney cartoon. That's for sure. Watch the movie; it's fantastic. Into the Woods gets a top score for me. For honestly, this is not a 1 out of 10. This is this is Penn's pick of the year. Into the Woods is my favorite film in 2014. Fantastic musical. I know this is the one that I will watch and revisit over and over again. And it's a soundtrack that I'm definitely going to be having on my phone. And honestly, this is one that there's very few times recently that I wanted to actually go out and buy a CD. But the last time was for Daft Punk. Their album was fantastic and deserved to be bought. Into the Woods soundtrack, that deserves to be bought. It deserves to be recognized. If you haven't seen it, check it out. If you live in an area where you have a chance to go see the musical, definitely go see it. Fantastic. Top of the line for me. Anyway, it's a short review today. Hope you guys have a great day. My tea is getting cold, so I got to make some more. And it's time for tea. The Giant Lobster Head says, "Shame on you if you've not yet seen or haven't watched Into the Woods." One of the most unique and fun movies that you're going to see this year. And it does everything that Annie the musical should have done. But it does it better. And I did enjoy, Annie the musical was fun for what it was. But Into the Woods is on a completely different level. All the stuff you wanted from Annie and never got, you will get from Into the Woods. It's a great film. Check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. And watch the movie. It's Disney magic again. And, it's about time. One more thing. I got to talk about some of the cast here for a second. Johnny Depp is amazing. It is good to see Johnny Depp doing a role. It's another weird role. He plays the wolf. And honestly, the second that I heard there was a wolf that was going to be in the movie, I immediately thought Alan Cummings was going to come out on onto the screen, because it just seemed to be that type of role. But Johnny Depp knocks it out of the park. As much as I was mad on Sweeney Todd when I first saw it, Johnny Depp is one of the highlights in the early part of this film. He does an amazing job. And by the way, the stories, the fairy tale stories, are much more realistic to what the fairy tale stories were, as opposed to the Disneyfication that the stories we get later on. So remember, this isn't the Disney Once Upon a Time stories. These are taken from the original source material and seamlessly put together. But I had to say, I had to come back on and say, Johnny Depp, you did an awesome job. I mean, for the role that you had, it was really cool. Certain people stood out. Tracy Ullman for the role that she had as Jack's mother was incredible as well. Meryl Streep as the witch was a multi-layered character, extremely well done. Man, Emily Blunt just stole every scene that she was in. She was incredible, and she did this movie pregnant, like I said before, and that's amazing. Tom Corden was incredible in the film. Little Crawford, I don't remember the name of the boy that played Jack, but he was great. He had a great voice, and he had great screen presence when he was on there. But Anna Kendrick, she flawlessly does the music because Anna Kendrick can. She's a girl that is acting in film that could be on Broadway. She has that type of like presence and voice and range to her. But again, the cast was incredible. You've got to check this one out, guys. It's don't miss it. Go and get into the woods today. Just be sure to find your way out before dark. It gets tricky after that.